Don't hide behind the pillars. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana. Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava ki Jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hari Hari Bol. ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टां स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। मुखं करोति वाचालं पाङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। So welcome devotees for this important subject this morning, cleanliness. Do we have a Hindi translation? Needed? हिंदी ट्रांसलेशन किसको चाहिए? आवश्यक? समझते? आपको चाहिए? जगत पलक चाहिए? Okay. Where is our translator? Who can translate? Emachita is not here? Oh, he's here. Would you translate for him? Huh? So you sit somewhere and translate for him. Go with him. Anyone else needs a translation? Nobody? Okay. So, today is, as I said, important day. Cleanliness. Cleanliness is next to godliness. So, like all the other qualities, these qualities are not, the cultivation of these qualities are in one sense not directly bhakti, in the sense that bhakti means love for Krishna. But all these qualities are the qualities of goodness, and they are very favorable for the practice of Krishna consciousness. This cleanliness is known in the Bhagavad Gita. Who knows the word in Sanskrit for cleanliness? Shaucham. Shaucham is a sha, like in Shiva. Shaucham. And so this is listed in the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. In the list of items for knowledge. The items of knowledge, how many there are? 20. 20 different items of knowledge. And Krishna declares, this is knowledge and everything else is ignorance. So, and as we know, knowledge is a process. It's a process. There is a process to acquire knowledge. And cleanliness is part of that process. And in fact, cleanliness is very intrinsic to Krishna consciousness, because what is Krishna consciousness? It's a process of cleansing. It's a process of purification. So cleanliness is at the heart, actually, of the practice of Krishna consciousness, although, as we know, there are no hard and fast rules for the chanting of the holy name. But it will be very favorable. Like in the morning, if you take a bath, it helps awaken all the senses, it refreshes the mind, and then we are ready for chanting. So, cleanliness, important item of knowledge. It is actually the first thing which is taught by the spiritual master. We see in this list of items of knowledge, first comes humility. Tadvidi pranipatena. That is, there has to be this pranipat, there has to be this surrender, which is possible only out of humility. So the qualification to approach the spiritual master are given in this Bhagavad Gita. First there is humility, pridelessness. One should be humble and one should be free from this false ego. One should be able to take the instructions, because the whole process of Krishna consciousness is to take instructions. The word disciple, shishya, in Sanskrit, it comes from the Sanskrit root, Srila Prabhupada explains, shash, which means discipline, ruling. So a disciple is one who accepts the ruling of the spiritual master. And the ruling is in many, many, many areas. And the disciples instructs us in austerity, because spiritual life means austerity, restraining oneself. So there is humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity. All these things should be there. Then we are qualified to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. And he will start instructing us. And the first thing that comes after that is Shaucham. And so we will see that Shaucham has very many different aspects. So this is part of the cultivation of goodness. It will help us cultivate the mode of goodness. As we know, the mode of goodness is essential for the practice of spirituality. This is the closest we have to spirituality. In tamas, in rajas, we are far away from spirituality. In goodness, we come close to spirituality. Sattvam sanjayate jnanam. This goodness will generate knowledge and this clarity of mind, which is going to help us to perceive things in the right perspective. So this quality of cleanliness is a specific quality of a brahmana. And Prabhupada said the brahmana is called suchi. Suchi means clean. Shaucham is the name, suchi is the adjective. So he says a brahmana is known as suchi. This you will understand, a Brahmin is clean. Srila Prabhupada gave the example that sometimes in Kolkata, you will see, there used to be, there are still, I'm sure, I remember, people live on the street. So many people live on the street. They have no money, no house, no room. They just live on the street, and basically they beg. So Prabhupada said, you see, most of them, they have given up on life, and they are all dirty, and they are. But as you see in the line, suddenly you come to one of them who has made a space around him. And he has swept the floor, and he has kept the area, and everything is kept in order. What is to understood? Here is a brahmana. This is how you recognize a brahmana from, like, you know, from external symptom. Very visible symptom is this cleanliness. The brahmana will always be clean. He will never sit in a dirty place. He will never have dirty clothes. And he will be very careful everything that he touches. Because the brahmana wants to remain clean. And that is his quality. And the brahmana usually is connected with Lord Vishnu. He is connected with the worship of the Lord. So when we come to the worship of the Lord, cleanliness is essential. So a brahmana will always maintain himself clean. And Prabhupada says the opposite of brahmana is krupana. There is brahmana, which is broad-minded. The brahmana is a broad-minded person, which comes with generosity, being magnanimous. And then there is the kripana. The kripana is the miser, who doesn't want to use things. He sits on the money. And so the kripana is also known as muchi. He is not clean. He is not clean. Why? Because the kripana usually is associated more with the lower modes of nature, and he cannot be austere. Cleanliness is part of austerity. The kripana, one who is, he doesn't want, he's not voluntarily coming forward. And so that person who doesn't want to use things, Krishna's things, in the service of austerity, of tapasya. So for a kripana, in the morning, as soon as it's little cold, this is a non-Brahmin. So in the morning, a little cold, stay in bed. Yes? Or get up and then, the geyser is not working. Big problem. This is a big problem. It's problem for whom? For kripana. For Brahmana, no problem. The Brahmana is austere. And he will take a bath no matter what, no matter where. If he has to take a bath, he will take a bath. He will find the water. Where is the water? There's no water. And they said, Mataji, there's no water. So the Brahmana will always know where is the water. That's one of the first things he does when he arrives anywhere. Where is the source of water? Where is the clean source of water? Just immediately. One time I remember I was in America, and so somebody was introducing me to a room where I could stay, and they said, this is the bathroom, and there is the shower, there is the shower, and there is this, and there is that, and that, and this, and it was a huge bathroom. So they described so many things, golden knobs, this, that, that. And I said, is there water? Because who cares about all these things? What we need is water. A Brahmana in the traditional, let us say, self-sufficient natural living will always stay next to a source of water. Whether it is the ocean or the river or a pond or a well, a Brahmana will always stay next to water because he cannot live without taking bath. This is part of his, what you say, dharma, that he has to remain clean. So Srila Prabhupada tells us in that purport of in this 18th chapter that cleanliness is essential for making advancement in spiritual life. So we should not neglect it. There are two kinds of cleanliness, external and internal. Right. External means you cleanse, because why is that? We have two kinds of bodies. We are cleansing not the soul. The soul is eternally pure. We are cleansing the coverings on the soul. So there is the gross body and there is the subtle body. For the gross body, there is external cleanliness. For the subtle body, there is internal cleanliness. External cleanliness means taking a bath. But for internal cleanliness, one has to think of Krishna always and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This process cleanses the accumulated dust of past karma from the mind. So two kinds of dust. One is the material dust, dhuli, and the other dust is the karma. And this is the dust on the mirror of the heart. So, Prabhupada says that of the two, of course, of these two, the internal cleanliness is the most important. Not external, internal. Because the external cleanliness sometimes is possible and sometimes is not possible. And at the time of death, for example, nobody takes bath. Let me see, I have to take bath before passing out. No, at that time, the internal cleanliness is what counts, ultimately. But the external cleanliness is a prerequisite to develop internal cleanliness. So, one should always be careful to keep his body clean by bathing, brushing teeth, shaving, changing clothes, etc. As far as internal cleanliness is concerned, one should always remember the holy names of God and chant Hare Krishna. The demons neither like nor follow all these rules for external and internal cleanliness. So if we claim to be a devotee of the Lord, then we are bound to follow this item of cleanliness. So we will look at different things regarding this cleanliness. Let us be practical. We will go to the, so keeping clean. So there are different aspects of it. Yes, I wanted to look at this thing. When we look at deity worship, we see cleanliness has been defined in 6 different divisions. The divisions of purity, which are called Shada, which means 6, Shada, Suddhi, Shada, Suddhi, 6 areas of cleanliness, which include the place. The Brahmana lives in a clean place. So this is for us to practice, a clean place. So the place can be cleaned, first of all, swept, it can be cleansed with water, and usually cow dung is a purifying agent which is highly used in the Vedic society. It's an antiseptic, it has antiseptic qualities. We can clean with cow urine, we can clean with cow dung. So the place should be clean. This is called sthana. Sthana is the place, sthana shuddhi. And then the articles that we use when we worship the deity, and otherwise, as a Brahmana, everything that we use, it should be clean. So clean means it should be made of clean materials. And secondly, we should take the time to clean them. And then there is the purity of the body, which is what we are mostly going to talk about today. Then there is the purity of the mind, which is the internal purity. The chitta, this is called chitta shuddhi. There is sthana shuddhi, which is the place. There is dravya shuddhi, which is the articles, all the objects that we use. Then there is atma shuddhi, which means self-purification, self-cleanliness, the cleanliness of the body. Then there is chitta. The chitta is the consciousness. So chitta shuddhi. Then there is the mantras also should be clean. This is part of the 6 areas of cleanliness. The Brahmanas, they chant mantras. So when are the mantras clean? Number 1, they should be received, not invented or picked from some book somewhere on one's own. They should be received from a bona fide spiritual master. And then one should avoid the offenses. Nama parad, seva parad. If there are offenses, the power of the mantras is reduced. And the purity of the mantras also involves pronunciation, proper pronunciation. If we don't pronounce properly, then in the Vedic mantras, in the Vedic yagyas, the result of the yagya may come upside down or not come. So we should endeavor for pronunciation. And then the last one is the purity of the deity. Now when we worship the deity, we cannot leave the deity unattended. The deity has to be kept very clean. So let us go in the day of a devotee, what we do during the day. The first thing is we are all as Vaishnavas associated with deity worship. Whether we perform the deity worship personally, we have a deity, we have shilas, or even if you just maintain an altar with pictures, we are personally worshipping. And the other thing we do is we visit the temple. And this is the temple of Lord Vishnu, who is the deity of the mode of goodness, supervising the mode of goodness in this world. So Lord Vishnu cannot be approached by Muchi people. He has to be approached by Suchi people. And that's why in the ancient times, certain classes of the population, they are not even allowed in the temple. In this age, we are not very much liking this kind of standard. But to keep the temples clean, then certain types of people are not allowed. I was in Jagannath Puri recently. Can't go in temple. I am Muchi from the point of view of the local standards. So we all go to the temple. We attend the artis and all, and this should be done in a clean state. We cannot just say, oh, well, I'm not a pujari, When are you going to become one? Because the Prabhupada's idea was that, we receive first initiation. Prabhupada said this is giving a chance. We give a chance to everyone to do what? To become purified, to elevate oneself to the mode of goodness. And then everybody should be aspiring for second initiation. Second initiation is also now known as the Brahminical initiation. So when are we going to get there? We should not think, it's like when we are taking first initiation, first we become steady in chanting before. No? Before first initiation, we become steady in chanting, in the practice of Krishna Consciousness. We study a bit, we understanding, and then we are qualified to take initiation. So now, second initiation, not that the day you receive the mantra, from today I'll take bath in the morning. No. We have to practice that before. We have to train ourselves how to become clean, how to prepare ourselves, because basically second initiation is for deity worship. It opens the door of worship. So we must develop this quality of cleanliness, and the quality and the behavior, the practices of cleanliness. So the Brahmana, he thinks of the next day, the day before. Yeah, he thinks of the next day, the day before. How is that? Because the first thing to do in the morning will be taking bath. So therefore, the day before, you prepare the clothes, make sure the clothes are there. The clothes have to be washed. And if possible, they have to be placed in the place where you're going to take baths so they are easy of access. And the place where you take bath, it has to be clean also. And you can't, a Brahmana, there's one thing that the Brahmana never does, is taking bath in a dirty place. Brahmana doesn't take bath in a dirty place. Not possible. So it means that the Brahmana will always keep the bathing area clean. Keep it clean all the time. It's an ongoing process. And before taking bath, you will see the Brahmana fixing things. And then he takes bath. Nice. But we don't take bath in a dirty place. So this is to encourage all of us, because many times we see in the ashrams or the bathrooms are never taken care of. But that is anti-Brahminical. Brahmanas keep it clean. They say, oh, it's dirty, Brahmana doesn't clean dirty things. Brahmanas never have a dirty thing around them because they keep cleaning all the time. So it never gets really dirty. So we clean the bathing place, we prepare the clothes for the next morning. If we are in a situation where we don't know whether the water is going to be there or not, then we save water. We save the water, we keep it. Now, so waking up in the morning, first thing is, between internal and external cleanliness, the first thing is getting up early. This is part of cleanliness. Because when we when we sleep in the night, we should sleep early and get up early. In the early morning, the atmosphere is in the mode of goodness. So we want to catch that atmosphere so that we will be in goodness for the whole day. So when we wake up late, we accumulate the influence of tamas. More tamas, more tamas. We know when you wake up early, fresh in the morning, you feel very nice. And if you sleep extra, all day, it's not the same. So waking up in the morning, first thing is, what do we do first when we wake up in the morning? Don't tell me bath. There are so many other things to do before bath. What do we do in the morning when we wake up? Brush teeth, drinking water. Take Krishna's name. It's getting better. Yes. We offer obeisances. When we wake up in the morning, immediately we remember the spiritual master. We remember the Lord. That's the first thing for a devotee in the morning, is to immediately fix the mind. Remember who I am. I am the servant of the spiritual master. I am the servant of the Lord. We remember the spiritual master. We remember the Lord. We offer our heartful obeisances, and we give a little prayer. Please bestow auspiciousness upon the day, so that I may serve you in good spirit, right? And then we get up. And then what comes after that? We say, bath. No. First thing that happens is you have to fix the bed, the place where you slept, In the past, depending on, talking of Brahminical life, there are 4 different varnas, so not everybody follows the same standards. But we want to become Brahmanas because we are servants of the Lord, and this standard is required out of us. Even if we happen to be of another varna in one sense by our qualities, but because we are a Vaishnava, we are bound to these standards of cleanliness. So we wake up in the morning. In the past, in Brahminical ashrams, beds were never there. People would sleep on the floor. You sleep on the floor and you put something on the floor, and in the morning it is rolled up and it is put aside, and you don't see it for the rest of the day. Nowadays, so that's one thing we can do. If we sleep on the floor, roll up everything, put it on the side. If we sleep on a bed, which is the case for most people in most places, we sleep on a bed. So what has to be done? The bed is not like something that you roll up. Usually the bed has sheets and covers and so many things. So at least it has to be set, you don't leave it messy. You put it straight in order, and then it has to be covered. It has to be covered. You cannot hope that you're going to take bath and then you come back and you sit on your muchi bed. Bed is typically muchi. Typically muchi. In the night, when we sleep, what happens? The body exudes impurities. The body itself automatically goes through a process of cleansing in the night. The organs are cleansing themselves, and there are many fluids which exude from the body at night. When you wake up in the morning, what happens? It is greasy. Your skin is all greasy. Yes? What is this? These are fluids, which are impurities which are coming out of the body. In the morning, you will find some kind of sticky things in the eyes. There is wax in the ears. There is mucus in the nose, in the throat. There is a covering on the tongue, right? This is the morning you wake up, and this is all tamasic, and this is all impurity. This is impurity which comes out of the body. This is listed somewhere here. All the impurities. There are 12 impurities which are called mal. Mal means dirt. 12 impurities which exude from the body. And we must purify ourselves from these things. So they include things like all these things that exude from the body. Where are they? Anyway, there is perspiration that comes from the body. There is all the different fluids that I mentioned. And of course, there is stool, there is urine. So many things are coming from the body. So we must cleanse ourselves. So all this goes in the bed. At night, we are sweating. We are exuding things from the body. So therefore, the bed is considered muchi. It has to be covered. So it can be covered with different things. The first thing to cover the bed with can be wool, which is considered to be a pure material, which doesn't get easily contaminated unless you pass stool on it. So you cover it with a woolen thing. Otherwise, you can cover it with silk, which is also considered as something which is more pure. You can cover it with cotton. It will remain pure for some time. So it has to, but in any case, whatever you choose, it has to be covered. You can't just leave it like that. So this is the first thing. What is the next thing we do in the morning if we are actually in good shape, physical shape and everything? The next thing is to clean the floor. This is a discipline in all ashrams and in all Brahminical houses. In the morning, mopping. Quickly. Just quick, with water. You cleanse with water. You also open the windows. Even if it's winter, you must open the windows to clear the air and clean the floor. If you have to take out some garbage, it is done before bath. You take out the garbage. Usually Brahmanas, they don't deal with garbage. There is Suchi and Muchi. Who takes care of garbage? Muchi. That means there's a class of people who deal with that. It is their duty. They do that. But still, even if you are a Brahmin, you do have to put your trash outside. You have to get rid of the garbage in some way. So this is done before taking bath. So these are some of the things here that happen even before we enter the bathing area. Now, in ideal settings, one should take bath. First of all, to take bath, the water has to be clean. Where is the clean water? First of all, it is found in the ocean. But we are not living next to the ocean. Okay. Next, it is found in the river. But in these days, even the rivers are sometimes contaminated. So no ocean, no river. Brahmins actually, they settle on the banks of rivers, on the banks of the ocean. The next thing is that they dig a well. There are still people in India who will never take bath unless the water has come from a well. So this is the next source of pure water. It comes from inside. It comes from inside and you can just pull it with a bucket and that's pure water. And that also in the villages, there are different kinds of wells. There are the wells where you take the drinking water, the bathing water. There are the wells where you do other things, or different people use different wells. The animals use another source of water, and so on. Hey, purity in the Vedic society is very important. Whereas in the modern society, people are not aware at all. They eat something, lick their hand, and then clean it on the pocket of their jeans. Done. This is the standard. Everything is dirty everywhere. People have no idea and addicted to dirty habits as well. So, okay, then we are almost ready to take bath. I said, okay, next thing, how do you take bath? You pour the water. But there are a few things to do with that. Pouring water on the body is the last. It has to be done last. There are a few other things we have to do before. What is first? First, in the morning, one has to clear the stomach. Stomach has to be clean. And if one is healthy, this happens automatically. If one is not healthy, then there will be complications. It will happen during the day, at the wrong time, etc., in the middle of the night. And that's when we are not healthy. If we are healthy, then what happens in the morning? Automatically the bowels have to clear. Passing stool and urine, very automatic in the morning. So that is done before bath. I always remember in the house where I was born, It was a very different environment, and even though my parents were very, very, very good people, but I always remember my mother. She used to take baths every day. She was very good. But after taking bath, she would go and pass stool. Because no knowledge, no knowledge. Huh? And so, on one hand, the guna was there towards cleanliness, but the knowledge wasn't there. So what we should know as devotees is after passing stool, one must take bath. And in the morning, you pass stool before taking bath, not after. Stool, urine, we have to pass before taking bath. So that is the first thing. Some people will start with brushing the teeth. First you brush, then you go to bathroom, toilet. No. This is explained that when we wake up in the morning, as we said, everything is covered. The eyes have some kind of, mucus inside the eyes. It's all covered. The ears, the nose, and especially the mouth and the nose, they are covered. And the nose is full of some mucus. But this is very useful because before we clean, we have to clean all this to be able to enhance our sense perception. If you eat something in the morning without cleaning your tongue, you can't taste it properly. Similarly, you cannot smell properly, and that is very good. Because to smell dirty things or stinky things is sinful. So in the morning what happens is first you go past stool. When you pass stool, naturally there will be a delicate odor which will come out. And this, if you have not cleansed all your senses, you will not perceive it very well. You see? Beautiful arrangement. If first you cleanse your nose and your mouth and everything, then you get full experience. You see? So be aware of this, that first is passing stool, urine. And after that, then you cleanse the rest. So we go for cleaning the mouth, the nose, the ears. So the mouth, as we know, we are supposed to brush the teeth. You can brush the teeth in different ways. In the traditional ways, people just pick sticks from the trees, especially the neem tree. And it is antiseptic, so you cleanse. We are using toothbrush. You can use toothpaste. And you brush the teeth. The teeth should be brushed in the morning and in the evening, 2 times. During the day it is not advised, but 2 times, morning, evening. If you do that, the teeth will remain in good condition. The evening brushing is very important, because otherwise you will sleep with different pieces of remnants of food and it will spoil the teeth. And then in the morning, naturally. And then the tongue. This is something many of, at least for the devotees who are not from India, we learned from Srila Prabhupada, cleaning the tongue. We didn't know about this, cleaning the tongue. And Prabhupada came with the tongue scraper, that piece of iron that you put inside and, to remove the mucus which is on the tongue, so that we can taste, and especially the holy name. We cleanse our tongue to chant the holy name. So this is very important. So many toxins are there. When you go to the doctor, he says, show me your tongue. So there is all the dirt is accumulated, the toxins. So this is important in the morning. If you don't have a tongue, something, you can brush with the toothbrush, but you have to clean the tongue. So the teeth, the tongue. And in the morning, usually going to Mangalarti, that's how much we do, and then we run, we take bath and we run to Mangalarti. But you should know that many other things also have to be done before. Such an example, if you have to cut the nails, this is done before bath. So you can do it at another time during the day when there is more time. But the point is you don't take bath and then cut the nails. Cutting hair, shaving, cutting the nails. This is done before before the bath. If you have to clean your ears, sometimes you take a little stick and this is done before bath. Basically, everything is done before bath. Blowing the nose, the hair. Those who keep short hair, shaved head, you can take full bath. Those who have long hair, it is called shir snan, the head bath. And those who have long hair usually do not take bath all the time, the head bath all the time. Every few days, twice a week or something, you have to cleanse the hair. So if you don't clean the hair every day, it means before taking bath, you have to comb. You have to do that before taking bath. You comb the hair, tie them, and then take bath. So all those who keep long, long hair, then you cannot take bath every day because this will, it is very difficult. I remember one time there was a lady from South India. She was born in a Brahmin family and she had this long hair, massive long hair. She was taking bath, full bath, 3 times a day. Result, every time you happen to somehow touch her hair, it was wet, never dry. So this is not a healthy condition for the body, and depending what kind of body you have, this cannot be tolerated by the body. And of course, as far as possible, and especially for men, Srila Prabhupada recommended shaving. Keep clean. When he saw hair on the head, and especially on the face, he said, this is hippie seeds. He called it hippie seeds at that time because he was dealing with the hippies who used to keep long hair, long beard. So it is expected that the Brahmana is clean. And hair is like perspiration and all these things. It is something which is rejected by the body. It is used in also to, like it's beautiful, there's hair. But it's actually something like the nails, they grow. They grow, and it's quite amazing that there is a part which is attached to the body, which is sensitive, it's attached to the body, and then there is a part which grows, and we have to cut it, and this is dead matter, and it is considered dirty. Similarly, the hair, it grows and grows and grows and grows. It is also considered dirty. Like when we are doing cooking, we say cover the hair. The hair should not fall into the food. If the hair falls into the food and it is offered to the deity, it is not accepted because it is contaminated. So we always have to be careful, and these things are cleansed before we take bath. Or it is tied and kept aside. So, so we take bath. After finishing all this, meaning with the idea that these things are done before, whenever, during the day or morning or whenever. And usually these things are not done in the night. You don't cut the hair in the night. You don't do these kinds of things in the night. It has to be done in the morning or during the day. Then we take bath. How many times bath? Brahmins take minimum 3 times. The Brahmins take minimum 3 times bath. Shastri, sandhyam, 3 sandhyam. In the early morning, sunrise, in the midday, and in the evening. The last bath. So this is usually different ashrams, different varnas, there are different rules for taking bath. But for brahmanas, it is 3 times a day. And the minimum is twice, morning, evening. That's the bare minimum. And of course, you have to take into consideration the health. This is the only thing that can, not the only thing, but one of the things that can stop us from taking bath is the health. If we have fever, then you don't have the duty of taking bath if you have fever. If we have fever and you want to keep fresh and clean, somehow you can use a cloth which is wet. With the wet cloth, you can wipe the body quickly, but not take bath. This is contrary to maintaining the body. Similarly, when we travel sometimes, we travel by train, by plane, long distances, so we cannot take bath. So at that time, Om Pavitra Pavitro Va Sarvavastagato Piva Yat Smaret Pundarikaksha Sapahyapyantara Shuchihi. Everybody should learn this mantra. And while chanting this mantra, what should be done?
Meditate in the mind.
Meditate, yes. You don't just say the mantra. It says, one who remembers Pundarikaksha, the Lord, the lotus-eyed Lord, one who remembers him, he is clean inside, outside. So it's not just the mantra, it is the remembrance. When you chant this mantra, you have to think of the beautiful face of Krishna, the lotus feet of Krishna. We think of Pundarikaksha. And by remembering him, then we are cleansed. But this should not be used as an excuse. Chalo, no time to take bath. We chant the mantra. So it is not like this. And this mantra is also chanted anyway. The devotees, they chant this mantra anyway. As we said, there is external cleanliness, there is internal cleanliness. This mantra will bring internal cleanliness. But it is also considered that it nullifies the faults which may be there in external cleanliness. So it is always chanted before deity worship. So now, what do we use for taking bath? What do we use for taking bath? Some things are used to cleanse the body, because we said there are many things which are there which have to go, these impurities, the mal which has exuded from the body. So in this age we use soap. Other traditional items for cleansing is mud, for example. And people rub the body with the mud when they are next to a river. You know, when we go to Mayapur, we do that as a game, basically. We take the mud and it's black and we put it all over, right? And take pictures. But this is the traditional way of cleansing, and it's very, very good. The mud, you rub it all over the body and it takes away. There is also oil. Oil is also, even though it is oily itself, but what oil does is that you rub it over the body. Oil is used in the winter, and it's used also in the hot season. In the winter, one takes bath with oils which are warming, like sesame or this, what do you call it, mustard. They're warming to the body. And so the idea is that the oil for the brahmanas, you know, it is never applied after bath. That's another thing. That after taking bath, you don't put anything else on the body, like beauty cream, oil, all these things. No, that again, then again go for bath. If you are somebody who is a Brahmin, after taking bath, that's it. You see, many times people are taking bath, and after bath they have to apply this and that and this and that. Well, you're done. You can't go worship. You cannot go anymore. We cannot worship the deity with oily hands and oily body. So, but oil can be used to take bath. You apply the oil before bath. You use it as a soap. You apply it all over, and then you have to rub. And then you take bath. And it is in the winter, if you have a little warm water, then you put warm water. When we put warm water on the body, the pores, the holes through which the mal is coming, these pores, when you pour hot water, they open up. They become relaxed, they open. And what happens? The oil goes inside. So it nourishes the skin. And the next thing is that even if you take a warm water in the winter, which may be necessary to maintain the health of the body, at the end you should pour cold water, Because the cold water is the one that refreshes the mind. And so even if you take bath with hot water, at the end, you put some cold water. Then, you know, you go, ah, ha, 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 you know, I'm awake. You know. Then you get the effect of having taken a bath, because taking a warm bath doesn't wake you up like you take a cold bath. The cold bath is the Brahminical bath. But in the winter, like here in Vrindavan, it's extremely cold. So many people cannot handle this health-wise. So you take a warm water. So what happens when you put the cold water? The pores, they close. You know? When you put warm water, they open. The oil goes inside. And when you put the cold water, brrr, you know, so they close. And when they close, they eject the dirt. This is very scientific. They eject the dirt. And after taking bath, then you cleanse yourself with a gamsa. And there is a difference between gamsa and towel. What's the difference? What's the difference?
You wash gamcha regularly.
Yeah, the gamsa is a thin cloth. It can just even be just a piece of cotton cloth. Simple sadhus, they just have only one piece of cloth and they cut a piece of it, and that's the gamsa. So the gamsa is a thin cloth, and a towel usually is something of the modern world, which is thick and fluffy and soft and everything, you know. And so, but the problem with it is that it's so thick. You need to put it in the washing machine practically to wash it. It's a big endeavor to wash it because it's thick and heavy and big. So Brahmanas do not use towels. They use gamsa, a thin cloth. And so of course you start with the top of the head and you finish down to your feet, cleansing. And then what do you do with the gamsa? Wash, yeah, good. Either you wash it or you leave it. And the next time when you go for a bath, first you wash the gamsa and put it to dry, and then you take bath. The point is, but I've seen so many devotees, they use the gamsa and then put it for dry. It's like the mop in India. You mop, put it for dry. This is not to be done. The mop, after mopping, what you do with it? You rinse it. You rinse the mop, but then you put it for dry. So similarly, this gamsa, it will pick up all the dirt from the body. You don't want to use it the next time. It's again, this is called elephant bath. At first you take nice bath, and then you take dirty gamsa, and then you put back the dirt on you. So please take this, make this, because I've seen this so many times. Gamsa is not used twice. You can clean it right after taking your bath. Or you can leave it and clean it the next time when you take bath. But you can't. The idea with cleaning like as I said, in the past we take bath in the river, in the pond. So things are very different. You just change gamsa. And the traditional bath is that one never takes bath naked. One has to wear a gamsa while taking bath. This was, of course, naturally happening in the past because people would take bath publicly. In the open, you take bath. So naturally, a human being will not appear naked in front of others. But there is not only human beings looking at us when we take bath. There is also the air, the sun, all the witnesses, the demigods. So in general, Prabhupada instructed for, if one wants to live a real Brahminical life, that you wear a gamsa. And then you discard everything, and the next thing is you have to put on clean clothes. So this is also something in the modern world which is not done. People wear their clothes for a whole week. And they put them in the washing machine on Saturday or on Sunday. So the whole week they wear the same clothes. So for us, it is not like this. We wear clean clothes. So that means that the clothes have to be washed regularly. Um, and that also, we would say the clothes, we wear clean clothes, means the clothes should be clean. So how are the clothes clean? First of all is the material that is used for dressing. Srila Prabhupada taught us that synthetic cloth is never clean. It is plastic. And the water just glides on it. It cannot go inside. It's a material that actually doesn't have any, it's not, what you say, it doesn't absorb the water at all. So this is not considered clean. Those who do deity worship, who cook for the deities, and as I said, us Vaishnavas, we are all supposed to do this, whether it's at home or it's in the temple, we are all supposed to worship the deity. So synthetic cloth is not in the program for Brahminical devotees. It is not there. We wear cotton, we wear silk, we wear wool. These are the things which are considered to be pure. So first of all is this, is that you regularize your, whatever you are, using for wearing. You have to regularize this. You should wear natural cloth. And then, who washes the clothes? Me. Very good answer. 10 points. Me. Who washes the clothes? A Brahmin washes his own clothes. Usually in the houses, big houses, there are always servants, there are people washing, but you don't know what they are doing. You don't know. The Brahmin needs to know that his clothes are clean. So therefore, he washes himself. And then it should be put to dry. Again, we can use some soap for washing. And then it is put to dry, because the cloth is washed by water, then it is washed by wind, the air, it is dried, and then the rays of the sun. It is good if they can dry outside, not in the drying machine. It dries outside. Then it is fully purified. Then you can take that cloth, it smells good, and it is clean. And if at all we have to get our clothes washed by someone, it's not the dhobi. Dhobi, boo, boo, boo. You go to the dhobi, and so you give a dirty bag full of dirty things, and he has a table, so it comes on his table, and he opens up, he counts it and everything, all dirty clothes, and then he puts it for wash. And then when he gives you your your clean clothes, he puts them on the same table, and he gives you your clean clothes on the same table. He doesn't have a sense of what is clean, what is dirty. Everything is mixed up. Or he gives it back to you in the same bag that you have given him. And it is a dirty bag, and he gives you the clothes in the same bag. So Brahmins don't use dhobi, because this is not reliable for cleanliness. So if at all you need help, then you have to engage a trusted person that you can train, tell them how, where to wash, and you know where they are hanging the clothes. And then the next thing is, after you take the clothes, you can't just put them anywhere. You have to put them in a clean place, and they have to be kept very cleanly. So this is the austerity of the devotees here. Another thing also is the ironing. The ironing, same thing. If in India here, this is, people are not very insistent on ironing. In the Western countries, oh my God, it has to be ironed. So ironing, same thing. If you can control it, if you have an iron and you do it yourself, you know it's clean, but again, not the dhobi. not the ironing man over there, because it is not clean. So you have to do it yourself, if at all you want to iron the clothes. So dressing, putting on tilak, this is what comes next after the bath. Going back to what we use for taking bath, also for washing clothes, but especially for taking bath, we talked of the mud, we talked of the oil. Something else which is very good actually for cleansing the body is the cow dung. They said, ooh, really? But I would invite all of you to make this experiment. We live in the Goshala, here is full of cow dung. You go, get some cow dung, and you take a cow dung bath. How do you do that? You, first of all, you make sure it has to be nice, fresh cow dung. You make sure there's no animals inside, no insects. Because sometimes there are worms or something. So you make sure that it is a nice, healthy cow dung. And then you mix it with water. You take a bowl, and you mix it with water, you make a cream, like a creamy thing. And then you put it all over the body. And the best is to wait a little bit. If you leave it over the body for some time, this is a special bath, which is meant, you remember every time Krishna went for killing demons, what happens to him after that when he comes back? Cow dung bath, cow urine bath. This is a purification of the subtle elements. I remember one time, I had, this is related to our Bhakti Shastri studies, I was overseeing an exam, which was a re-exam. Somebody who had, I don't know, missed or was redoing an exam, was a lady. And so I was supervising, but I was not very experienced. I think it was my first supervision of exam. So there was a room, and the lady was sitting at the table, and she was doing the exam. And I was chanting Hare Krishna, and I would come in and out of the room somehow, generously. I was chanting outside, inside, come in, come out. And then later on, when I was correcting, I was grading the paper, it was a little bizarre. So some of the answers, they were perfect. They were so good. Exactly the answer. Good English and very good answer. And some other answers were in bad English and wrong, or not so perfect. And it was alternating. There was one good answer, one bad answer, two good answers, three bad answers, like that. So then initially I thought, wow, I didn't know this lady was so good. Then I thought, let me check. I opened the Bhagavad Gita, it was Bhagavad Gita exam, and I saw it is texto. So at first I was like, what a memory. This lady has such a memory that she has memorized actually the purports and Jai Shri Radha Govinda Ki Jai. So I was thinking but then when I saw that there were some good answers in good English, which were exactly the book, and there were some bad answers in bad English, then I became doubtful. Then I went and challenged, did you cheat? Did you copy? Did you copy? Because I remember I was very trusting. I was coming in and out of the room. Every time I went out of the room, pulled out the book and copied. So she had actually cheated in the exam. But she didn't take it very nicely. Her nature was a little different. First of all, she told me, I said, why did you copy? You know we're not supposed to copy. Why? And her answer was, who could say it better than Srila Prabhupada? Stupid answer. Who could say it better than Srila Prabhupada? Therefore I copied. So, but then she became angry. Because I said, your exam is null and void. She became angry and she started taking out her finger and she was like cursing, you, and I was like, oh my God, it never happened to me before this, what is happening, So I remembered immediately Radha Shyam Sundar, Radha Shyam Sundar came into my mind, and I felt at that time some kind of shield around me, but still after that I went to speak to a friend of mine who was very, very sattvic person. And I said, you know, this thing happened to me. Somebody cursed me. And she said, oh, just take a cow dung bath. I said, what? Cow dung bath? So I've never touched cow dung. It's not something like that. You have to think before you touch cow dung. Like, depending what culture you come from, because we know cow dung is the stool of an animal. But the Vedas say that cow dung, the stool of the cow, it is pure. So we know in theory it is pure. But touching, not yet, that. And then taking bath with it, oh! But I surrendered. And I went and I got the cow dung and all. And she said, actually, you have to keep it like 35 to 45 minutes. So I did that. Got the cow dung and everything. And then I was sitting. And then in the bathroom, and I was listening to some class, something like that. And then after that, you take bath. Like it acts like soap. And in fact, it is an extraordinary cleanser. It's very good for hair. And it is very good. After that, your skin is like, wow, super smooth. And when you smell the cow, then it is so, you know, little. But after taking bath with cow dung, it's like a perfume. It's very, very nice. It doesn't stink at all. And you know what happened? 7 days later, 7 days later, I remembered, oh, the exchange, the cursing exchange. For 7 days, it completely got out of my mind. This was like a miracle. 7 days later, I remembered that cursing incident. I was like, oh, this happened. But in between, this cow dung bath was so extraordinary that all the subtle impressions were gone. So this is a very powerful cleanser, and we should not neglect it. And cow dung, it can be used also, mud, cow dung, they can be used also for if we happen to touch stool or something, then you clean the hands with mud, with cow dung, with it, and then it gets purified. And I just want to say one last thing before we close on this, is be careful with the soaps. Because in this, as I said, the natural way to cleanse is oil, mud, and then soap was invented at some point in time. Soap was invented. And what soap, you know, oil and mud, they remove the greasiness on the body. They remove the mull. But the soap acts in a different way. It dissolves the fats. So it's actually harmful for the skin. But there are different types of soap. And the main thing I want to attract your attention to is that not all soaps are vegetarian. So that you must know. The soaps and the body lotions and the shampoos, you have to go to nowadays it is easy, you go on internet and you can find out the ingredients of practically everything. So you should do a research on the soap that you are using, because many of the soaps are, they contain animal products, which go against the Brahminical principles. So you have to find natural soaps which are entirely based on vegetable ingredients, oils from seeds, from vegetable things like that. So that you must do. And the shampoos are terrible. That also, you have to research what is in the shampoo. Many shampoos contain eggs, makes the hair shine. Yeah, it contains eggs. So you have to be very careful. You should not use these things. And there is a second thing to consider, is that in that industry of soap and shampoos and all these things, they test the products on animals. And it is terrible. You can also Google and you will find, how they torture animals like anything. All the cosmetics, all the soaps, all these things are tested on animals. And you know, for example, when you clean and you put some soap in your eyes, it's burning, right? It's burning. So the point is that when they prepare it, they have to test how much burning can be tolerated. It burns a little bit, you put water, it's gone. But when they make it, they have to test the level of tolerance, and they test this on animals. They put the soap in the eyes of animals, they burn, they destroy animals' bodies, they give so much torture to animals. So actually we should limit ourselves to, in Western countries these things have become quite well known, so many times it is written, you know, non-violent product, not tested on animals and all. In India these things have not come fully, but still stick to natural soaps, as natural as possible, to avoid the animal testing and to avoid the animal ingredients, which again, you think you are cleansing yourself, but actually you're making yourself dirty by using these things. Okay, so this is, we will have a second session on Friday. There are many more things to cover. We'll cover internal cleanliness, but we will also cover some other parts of cleanliness during the day, eating and other things. The contaminating agents we are going to cover next time. Contaminating agents also in what not circumstances, in what cases we have to take bath besides the morning bath. There are also some other occasions when we have to take bath. Okay, so I'll stop here. Any question, any comment? Yes?
In winter, like I've seen some devotees, before taking bath they chant so that their body becomes a little warm before going to take bath. So is it okay? Like
They chant.
Yeah, chant in the beads. So is that okay? Like if they can chant?
Yeah, you can chant immediately upon waking up. You can do that. You can chant immediately upon waking up, but you should, Prabhupada used to do that. But what he would do is clean the mouth, clean the hands, and a proper Brahmin would clean the feet also. So in this age, cleaning the feet has become a feat, you know, because there are so many, you know, things going on. But the hands should be cleaned and the mouth should be clean. Then you can start chanting. There are many people who chant before bath. It's okay. But the hands should be clean and the mouth should be clean. Anything else? Yes?
Mataji, most of the modern medicines, they are also not vegetarian.
Hmm.
We simply take it. So shall a devotee inquire first and take it?
Okay, she's asking about modern medicine means allopathic, especially allopathic. I don't know about homeopathic. Homeopathic sometimes is based on alcohol. Allopathic medicines many times have animal ingredients. So two things. One thing is that as far as possible, our medicine is Ayurveda. For devotees, we should learn to use Ayurveda, because Ayurvedic medicine in general, there are some special things, but Ayurvedic medicine in general is non-violent, and it is sattvic, and it actually cures, whereas allopathy does not cure. It suppresses the symptoms. It treats the symptoms, suppresses the symptoms. Allopathy is required in case of accident, that you have to do something, repair something. In case of accident, allopathy is required. Surgery, allopathy has the best surgery, the most evolved surgery. But on regular basis, if you catch a cold or you have a stomach ache, why you should take allopathy? Why? Why you should take? First you try other things. First you try to cure yourself in a natural way. And if it doesn't work, then okay, you do. And there are certain things like, one thing which is devotees should not take in allopathy is they sell medicines within capsules. So the capsule, you can remove it. The capsules are definitely not vegetarian. And Ayurvedic medicines sometimes come in capsule, but they have vegetarian capsules, usually in Ayurveda. Otherwise, in allopathy, you can open them. If you have to take that medicine, you open the capsule, it will be very bitter, but who cares? Ayurvedic medicine is also bitter. Otherwise, there is no difficulty. You remove the capsule, you take, the medicine is inside the capsule, it's not the capsule. So you can remove the capsule. If you have to actually take, sometimes we have to take antibiotics, we have to take so many things. So the next principle is, in one sense, yukta vairagya. That this body has to survive by hook or by crook, because this is our vehicle to realize Krishna. When Prabhupada went to America, the devotees found out, slowly, when they became vegetarian, they found out so many things, so many products on the market that they couldn't buy. We will also discuss that next time. There are so many products besides the soap that you cannot use, including for the cooking for the deities. They discovered, for example, that in America the sugar is super processed. If you visit here in India, one time I was lucky enough to visit a sugar factory. Amazing. On one side there's the bullock carts bringing the sugar cane. The bullock carts are bringing the sugar cane, and then the sugar cane is pressed and the juice comes out, and then there are huge boilers, very tall boilers, and the fire is there, and so the sugar cane is being boiled. It boils, and then it is transferred to the next boiler, and it is molasses. It is a black, sticky thing, and they cook it and cook it and cook it, and as you cook it, it crystallizes. And then you have the sugar crystals, which is actually sukkar. It is brown sugar. The brown sugar crystals, they manifest from this black paste. And then you cook it and cook it and cook it and cook it more, and the brown sugar becomes whitish sugar. But in the modern society, there are more processes after that, which are unnatural processes, and which include they sell sugar in the West, which is white, pure white crystals, white crystals. But unfortunately, in the process, bones are being used, which come from slaughterhouses. So Prabhupada came to know this, that the sugar in those countries is non-veg, So then the devotees are always endeavoring to find, the non-refined sugar and like that. And there's so much cheating. They have white sugar, and then they paint it brown and sell it as brown sugar. So like that, but Prabhupada said, so what? Krishna cannot eat halava without sugar. So, and similarly the milk. In a natural setting, the milk comes from the cow, but not in the cities, in the modern world. It doesn't come from the cow at all. Sometimes it's not even milk. And if it is milk, it has also gone through a process, and it has been injected with artificial vitamins and artificial this and artificial that, which are not vegetarian. And the cows are mistreated. That's why nowadays there are so many vegan people who don't even use milk and animal products. So Prabhupada knew this, and that certain things are contaminated in the modern society. And that's why also Srila Prabhupada wanted that we establish farms. The idea was that all the cities are connected to farms. And whatever the city temples, preaching centers are using, it comes from our farms. So we know it's clean. We have clean milk, we have clean ghee, we have clean vegetables and everything. One time I was speaking with one devotee. He was working for a Korean, he's from India. He was working for a Korean society. And so from time to time he has to go and spend time in Korea. And so he takes a huge suitcase with rice, with puffed rice, with all sorts of dal and stuff and this and that. And he was saying it's so austere because I only eat khichdi every day that I cook in my room. And I said, but why can't you have vegetables? I said, oh no. I said, there are no vegetables in Korea? I said, yeah, there are vegetables, but to make them look good, they sprinkle them with dirty things. Yeah. So you can't, once you know it, how can you buy it? It's sprinkled with some dirty things which are animal derived. And in general, everything comes from the slaughterhouses. So as devotees, we have to learn to kind of control a little bit the stuff that we use in terms of food, and in terms of cleansing elements, which are not cleansing, they're actually making things dirty. Was this session useful?
Yes. Very good.
So please follow that. So from tomorrow morning, no, from this evening, we prepare clean bathroom and we prepare our clothes. We know what we're going to cover the bed with, because I've seen this too many times. People take bath, come back, sit on the dirty bed. Or they put their clean clothes on the dirty bed. You're done. This is not proper. So we must learn these ways. As we said, these are the first instructions. When we come to the ISKCON temples, if you go through the proper channel and you join a temple, the first thing the bhaktas are engaged with is cleaning. Cleaning. That's what you do. You clean, clean, clean. You clean the toilets also. That's for internal humility. That's for humility. But you also, you become assistant in the kitchen. You become assistant in the pujari department. And you do the maha cleanup of the temple. This is what the new bhaktas do. And all these things are manifested in Ram. And the paraphernalia for worshipping the Lord is a manifestation of Balaram. And so by doing this cleaning, we clean our heart. So we should take it like this and always be very, very eager to clean and keep our place clean. Okay, thank you very much. And we'll see you on Friday with more interesting things about cleanliness. Okay? Prabhupada ki jai.